So the recording is in progress and we open this. Okay, well, welcome everybody, those of you who are here and those who are listening later. Once again, I would like to introduce you to BG5, to my, one of my favorite courses, my favorite topic, and give you a little overview on what the course is going to be about. And then we will have to, we can start working out if we can manage to start right away, or it looks like it's would be better if we postpone it a little bit because we have some conflicting courses, and of course, we can wait a couple of weeks. Anyway, we talk about this later. So welcome to this little open house. And to start with, I want to show you who I am. So, I'm just showing you who I am, what I am. Of course, introduction in human design is always with a chart. So that's me. You see, I'm a pure generator. All the motors, a triple split. So I'm a quite strong and powerful, quite stubborn person. I'm on the cross of planning. So that is for me such a great fulfillment of my work. I used to be an interior designer, so I was planning then. I am planning now. I'm showing people how they function, how their inner structure works. So this, planning for me is very clear and very obvious. My purpose in life, and I enjoy it very, very much. I met Ra in 1993, so I've been really involved ever since the beginning, right from the start. All the courses I took with Ra, and I worked closely with him for many years. Did not last till the end, but we worked close and well for really many, many years. I'm a teacher, I'm an analyst, I'm a teacher trainer, and I took all 3 rounds of BG5 with Ra. First time he taught it was in 2005, so that was the first round, and then he repeated the whole course twice. And by the end of the 3rd round, he asked me to take over the teaching. That was in 2008, which of course I, enjoyed doing, and which I did right away. And ever since then, I've been teaching BG5 in English and in German, usually about once a year. So I try to get 1 English course and 1 German course done every year, so that, we can really get this fantastic information out. In 2000, I became the CEO of Human Design Austria, and 2 years later, Ra asked me to take over the complete German language education. So I've really been, planning and organizing human design and teaching and working and living it for a long time, and it's it's my life and my enjoyment. And if you look first quarter with my completely open head, I'm very interested mentally to start with, so I'm really open to take in a lot of information, and then over time, following my design as good as I can, I try to get it into the body. But this open mind is really what started me off and what fit me really well. I'm a 4/6 profile, so this is why I really enjoy teaching small courses, in a friendly and comfortable and nice atmosphere. And that is particularly nice and practical for BG5 because I make it a rule. I always work with the examples of my students. I mean, if they have some, if not, of course, I have lots of examples, but I prefer to use my students' examples because it makes it all the clearer and all the more practical. And to do this in this friendly social atmosphere in a small group, that works really well. And that, is a good way to get the information across and really have some practical application at the same time. Okay, so that's me. And if we look at BG5, now this is really, okay, I've got this, sorry, I've got this animation, I have to turn this off. So for me, what I always like to explain, the difference between classical human design and BG5. And BG5 is the abbreviation for base group 5. So the base group, the starting point of every society, if you want, mother, father, and 3 children. That's really what evolution sort of equipped us to start and become productive. That's really the starting point of everything: family business, and in our time and age, larger businesses. But it all starts with small groups. And if you look at human design and human design training, which really is the foundation, I mean, human design knowledge is the foundation, and BG5 is the business-oriented application of this knowledge. So, we just talked with Igor in the beginning. You have to have a good understanding of a chart. You have to be able to really see what a person is all about and how a person functions, to be able to apply that and use that in the business side. But the main difference really is in human design, we aim, or the goal is to really become aware, to really understand how you function, how you are driven, to really, stick your head out of the world and look at the mechanics and understand your personality and your functioning in a very general and detailed and big and grand way, and to go through all the deconditioning. So human design is a long process. It is really a way of self-exploration. It is a way of becoming aware of who you really are. Now that takes many, many years. The business application, if a business man or woman comes to me and says, "Oh, I have a problem, I'm about to, I don't know, lose my company, we lack, we're not successful," it's not a very good idea to tell them, "Okay, please go through your 7-year deconditioning cycle, and then we will see what we can do with your business." Now, that would not be a very good advice. So the whole BG5 knowledge really aims at practical solutions and answers and strategies and techniques that you can use right away to become materially successful. So the goal of human design, to become aware and to become yourself, that's all very nice, nothing wrong with that, very beautiful goal and aim. But in BG5, we aim at the practical material side. And the funny thing that I always explain and mention, practically with all my clients so far, everybody who really stays with the process, and every company or every business person I work with for any length of time, they very quickly start the deconditioning process, and they very quickly become aware of all the sort of human design rest, because it just goes hand in hand. But that's not the goal, that's just a side effect. So in BG5, we focus on who you are here and now, with all the problems and all the not self that are you, that make you in your life right now, and what we can do with this. So it's a very, very different goal. And if you enter the process, if you enter the BG5 process, very, very often as a sort of automatic side effect, you become, much more aware of who you are and how you function anyway, as well as I said, as a side effect. But it's not the immediate goal. It's something that happens sort of on the way. Okay, then I quickly put together just an overview of the content. BG5 is a 3-semester course. It is 7 1.5-hour lectures. This is basically the way that Ra used to teach it. I have, structured it. I have refined it, but I did not touch and change any of the content. I am a big fan of, the original content. I mean, Ra was a human person, and we had our our problems in the end, particularly, but he really is the source. He really brought human design, and there is no mistake in what he taught us. So for me, it is very important to focus and stress and point out that this is the original complete course, and this is not some simplified and dumbed down version as you will get on or in some other places. I'm not doing any name dropping here, but please be sure that you get the original content and not some glossy, dumbed down version. Anyway, so in BG5, we look at two basic themes, individual analysis and team analysis. Everything, of course, always starts with yourself, starts with the individual, starts with one person. So in the individual analysis and the comparative analysis, we really look at, of course, my students to start with and their examples and, you know, other examples that I bring. So we see how and what kind of business skills every single human being has. You know, no matter if you are a reflector or a manifestor or a generator or whatever, no matter, you know, no matter what you are, no matter what your design looks like, you do have business skills. They can vary a lot. And of course, a reflector will work very, very different to a projector or, you know, all the other types. So yes, there is huge differences. But everybody has a built-in natural way of working and being productive in the world. So that's, you know, one starting point. Then, of course, we see what kind of leadership qualities are there, what do you have, how can you develop them, and how can you apply them in your life, in your business life. And one large part of the analysis is looking at the shadow and its positive application. Now, the shadow is what in normal human design we call the not self, and not self, drama, terrible, problem. Well, yes, some of it, of course, but there is also always, as in everything, a positive side, and other side to it. So everything in human design is dualistic. You know, we have activated or open, we have this or that, we have, you know, the good and the bad, we have the up and the down. That's, you know, that's the reality of our life. And everything has two sides. So yes, the shadow is something to be aware of. Yes, the shadow is something we have to learn to deal with. But of course, the shadow is the way to wisdom. It is only the openness where you can become wise. So in human design analysis, very often the shadow analysis, the not self analysis seems to be, you know, very grim and dark and problematic. And the positive side is overlooked, which is a pity, because it is a clear part of it. It is clearly the other side of it. So looking at what I can do with my shadow, what I can do with my open areas and centers is a very important part of the work. And then we look again at this very interesting and difficult transition. You know, many people start working on their own, you know, start their own business, or, you know, start on their own or with a partner. And then as the business grows, as they become more successful, or, you know, have to enlarge or want to enlarge, you know, you go from 1 to 2 to a little group to a large group. Now, these transitions can be very, very tricky. It is a huge difference if I work on my own or with a partner, or if I become a BG5, a penta, a small group. Energy changes completely, the functioning changes completely, and many businesses fail because they do not manage to get this transition right. So that's a very important part that we look at in the training. And again, the change from small group, from Penta, from BG5 to OC16, the large group, organizing channels 16. 16 is the number, the ideal number of a large group, of a WA. So again, this transition is something that needs to be orchestrated and accompanied. So that's also something that we will look at. So this is basically the part that we will look at in individual analysis. And then we, of course, we look at teams. So one large part, of course, is the character and the analysis of small groups. And what kind of group activations do you have? Do you bring, are you a group person or not? So, you know, by starting with the individual look, are you a team person or not? You know, that's the basis of then engineering and building functioning teams. So that's, you know, the other part of the training. And in the original training, Ra used to stop with BG5. So OC16 was, and I suppose still is, a huge, complete new course, many semesters, huge thing, which I thought was not very practical, because even if you start with a small team, even if you don't plan on enlarging or don't know if you will want to grow further, you still have to know and understand the basics of the large group, because that can really influence you know, your recruiting and your building of a small team already. So in our third semester, in my third semester, I also look at the basics of OC16. So that for me makes it complete and makes it round, and is a very necessary aspect of business analysis. And of course, you know, looking at team, no matter large or small, what are the needs for success? You know, how can they be productive? How can work be fun and successful and productive? So that, of course, is always the goal, to improve our work life. And, you know, if we look out into the world and into our work life, it is very obvious that we have to do something about it, that very, very often the work life or the circumstances under which people are working are not okay, are not satisfying, are not fulfilling, are not successful, are not providing people with a comfortable living. And that's all, you know, a big problem. That should not be the way it is. So, you know, how can we work productively and have fun and be successful and have a good life? So, you know, this is the high goal, the big goal that we address in BG5. Okay, everything clear so far? Please jump in if you have any questions.
It's clear.
Okay.
All clear for me too.
Okay, great. Then let's come to the, in between, the little practical part. The next start was planned for November. Now, Alex is taking Martin Grasinger's level 1 right now, and he wants to join in. So because we only have very few participants at this moment, I would suggest that we postpone it. I would suggest to January. Because then, you know, your level 1 will be ready, and hopefully we get a few more participants. You know, 4 or 5 is my ideal size group, because then we have enough interaction, we have enough difference, we have enough different examples. So, you know, the 2 of you who are here right now, would January be okay for you as well?
I say I don't see any problems so far, but of course I would love to start now, but I guess I have no choice.
Yeah.
Yeah, for me also okay.
Okay. Well, I mean, I'm ready to start anytime. So it really depends. If we have only, it would be 3 of us right now, and of course, you know, Alex, it would be really a difficult time to fit you in next to level 1. So 3 is the very minimum, but from all experience, it would be more interesting for everyone if we had a few more. So let's leave it as it is. Let's look at January, and I will contact you afterwards and see what we can do. I mean, yeah, let's discuss this later on, but as I said, it is more fun for everyone, and it's more interesting, and it's better and more practical examples if we have a little more variety. Okay, so that's what we have to solve yet. And then I just want to give you a little overview on content, on the basic information. You might recognize the pictures from our website. Yeah, that's something we chose to do many years ago, and I still love our little penguins. So one of the most important aspects of business analysis is to see and find out what is your correct working environment. Some people are really built to work on their own, you know, to initiate and do things on their own. So you can already hear this is the story of the manifestors and under certain circumstances of manifesting generators. But basically it is a minority, of course, who is really built and designed to work on their own. There's a big group of people who are really designed for partnership, business partnership, private partnership. So, you know, pairing up with one correct partner, that's something that works for many, many people. The small group, the penta, the 3 to 5 people, or the around 15, I mean, this is a little bit more, please just take the picture as a symbol. I did not count the penguins. But working in a large group in groups is something that quite few people are really designed for. So from my experience, I would say it is not more than around, I don't know, 20% of people who are built for teamwork. But if you look in our working world and environment, so many people sit in teams. You know, you have an office you share with a couple of people, you are in a shop with a couple of other colleagues and people. So for many people, it is the daily reality that they end up in a team. And most of the teams, the vast majority of teams, are dysfunctional. And that's why working is such a drag. And that's why working seems to be so difficult. And that's why, you know, from Thursday morning, everybody is hoping for the weekend and hope to get out of this terrible workplace and have the life, have the weekend. And this is a disease. I mean, this is really terrible. You spend 5 days in a job that you hate. To have 2 days of weekend and of fun, I mean, that's not how life should be structured. So realizing how little people really are built for teamwork is very, very important, and is something that can and should and will change the way we work. And of course, the whole COVID pandemic has been a great support for this, because people working from home and people being in the home office, that is the new reality. And this is a big change, or has been a big change for many people. And I hope for all of us that we will be able to keep this up, because this is a much better way of working. But again, I'm just generalizing. Checking and watching and seeing if you are or somebody is a team person or not, that is, of course, you know, the very foundation of a fulfilled work life. So that's, you know, a very, very important starting point that we will, of course, explore in all detail. Then how we look at charts and how we analyze people is also very, very different. In individual analysis and in partnership analysis, we use the body graph as you know it. Team analysis looks completely different. So we do not use these body graphs anymore. We have a different software. We have a different way of looking and analyzing the skills and the attributes of a team or of a individual person within a team. So, you know, the way to look at groups and look at business is, you know, very, very different in its technical side, from its technical side. Yeah, and one thing I always love to show, the BG5 software has one wonderful little feature and little detail, and that is the triggering, the group chemistry. If you analyze a group, 3 to 5 people, so if you analyze a penta, in the software you can check all the exaltations and detriments, so all the fixing of a line that you do to everybody else and everybody else does unto you. So in the end, you get this summary, you get a picture of a specific group chemistry. You see how many exalting triggers you hand out, how many detrimental triggers you hand out. You see how many exalting triggers you receive and how many detrimental triggers you receive. And the sum of these 4 possibilities shows you what I call the group chemistry. And that has been an incredible tool to understand and see subtleties and see the refinement of a group, because you may have been very successful building a functioning team. So, you know, wonderful, everybody is fit in a group and they have all the skills and the attributes they need, and still they don't feel okay. Still, you know, everybody's hoping for the weekend. And this is a very interesting extra information that no other business tool can give you, that nobody can see and analyze with anything but BG5. So this is something where you can really start fine-tuning a group, or if you can't change it, you can at least address it and analyze and make it clear and make it easier to handle. So if we look, for instance, at this example here, this is a penta of 4 people. And if we look at the person 1 here, he receives, you know, the most he gets, the most he has is the detrimental triggers. So he walks in this group in the morning and feels, not again. That's not a very pleasant atmosphere for this guy. If you look at number 4, he's the one who really hands out all the positive vibes and energies, does not get a lot in return, but for him, it's sort of okay. Number 2 is going to feel best in this group because, no, not even. Well, funny, there is nobody really feeling well in this group. You see the orange and the red is always the largest spikes in this graph, in this table. So in here we have a functional team, but still we have a problematic chemistry. They will not go out for a beer afterwards. They will not go on holiday together, which is, of course, no necessity, but it is a very interesting and vital information on top of all the technical structural information. So the triggering is one of my favorite little extras that we can do and look at in BG5. Okay, so that's basically the little intro I wanted you to get and to have. Let's open up for any questions you might have and see if I can answer them. Let's go back to the content. Is anything you want to know? Anything unclear? Any questions? Please, now is the time.
I would be happy, but maybe Alex wants to go first. I already asked a few questions before.
No, you go ahead.
Okay. If I understood it correctly, maybe I didn't hear it correctly. Only 20% you said designed to work in teams?
Yes.
20, which means 80%. Oh, which means like 1/5 of the population. I mean, the general population.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's surprising, isn't it?
Well, it is. But the second question, and of course, I guess I need to go through the whole course probably to be able to understand. You mentioned COVID, and you mentioned this new reality where people being not in one room,
Yes.
but again, not chained, but connected to a common goal.
Yes.
Can we consider it as a penta, as a small group, or not?
No, basically, no. I mean, there are exceptions. This is something that we have discussed with Ra in great detail over many, many years, because it is a sort of difficult to analyze. If I know people, let's say I've taught a couple of my courses part live and part online. So usually semester one is very good to do online because that's, you know, the basic information. So there's really not so much interaction. So that's fine for online teaching. But if you take the second semester as an example, live, so we get together, we meet, we form a penta, we experience the group energy. Something really changes. You know, that's a completely different kind of work. And if we then go on and do semester 3 online again, we will in a way remember the group energy. So once you know people and you have been together with people, yes, I would say there are some remnants of the group energy, but basically, no, you and we are not in one aura. We are not interacting and interfering oracally now. So basically, if you don't know the people, even if you're working on a common goal, but you cannot benefit from the group energy. But of course, having said that 80% are not built for teamwork anyway, what you can avoid is the problem of the dysfunctional group. So most people are better off not in the group and, you know, online at home, or, you know, just dropping in the office occasionally for as a short time as possible. So for the majority, it is a improvement. It is a benefit to not be in the group.
But you said in the third semester, after people met, they kind of resemble penta.
Yeah, it is more of a penta than it was before, but it's not a true penta.
It's not a true penta.
It's not a true penta. I mean, the functional group really gets this automatic drive to success and the automatic drive to productivity. This is something that happens out of our chemistry, out of our design, out of our auras when we are together. This does, of course, not work in an online environment. But, you know, if I know you well and we speak online, there will be sort of a faint echo of this. But for the work and for structuring and engineering, no, we do not look at a virtual team as a, you know, BG5 or OC16.
I have a question, but if it's not proper to answer, then
no, go on.
Okay, let's say I looked at the group. We're missing 2, and then we find this person. I mean, this person who has this vision.
Okay.
But the person is only part-time, and we honestly don't have to make this life. Vision decisions every day. If we have this person in the group, make the decision, we're going this direction versus that direction, and then this person leaves, is it okay? Or actually we have this dysfunctional penta?
Well, you do have a dysfunctional penta. And again, this is the question of how long this one person has to be there in person to make the group energy work. This is something, there is no general rule for it. Ra used to say a couple of hours a week is the minimum that they should be together. But that varies. I have tested it from various sides. With some people, yeah, a few hours will be enough to create the group energy. With others, it will take more. And if you have one of these cases where, you know, vital elements are only there occasionally, the whole group will suffer. Yes, it may generally improve things if they come in at least occasionally, but of course, you don't need the general vision and the general overall theme all the time. But if something is missing, if you have a dysfunctional group, everything is going to be dysfunctional. So, you know, every meeting, every discussion, every interaction will lack in these areas. So even if you're not talking about the grand general direction, it will still lack because, you know, a dysfunctional team is something that should not be.
And I just remember, and in this case, if 2 is not there every minute, then your bank account of the company's bank account is not going to be swell with money, you know.
Exactly.
Okay, I got it.
Exactly. And again, if you look at any group as a Ra used to call it an auric entity. It is a living thing. It is alive. It has an energy of its own. So if something of this energy is missing, you know, the thing is not alive. Then you have the sort of rest body of some half functional penta, but it's a dead body. Okay.
And a short question, last short question. You showed the graph last slide. Is it in neutrinos through windows? I mean, I can see all these detriments, but I don't see these graphs. I mean, that one. Is it a part of this package, or it's something different that you have?
No, this is I use neutrinos, and this is part of the BG5 module in neutrino. You do also have it in MMI. I have no idea what it looks like. I've stopped using MMI long time ago.
I mean, you have to get a diploma from BG5 Institute, and if you don't, they don't sell it to you.
I know. Yeah. I mean, that's basically the same. You should be in the training to get the software, because otherwise it really makes no sense. But I stopped. I mean, it was exactly the BG5 software drama that made me finally stop using MMI, because they suddenly charged $1,500 extra on licensing fee. So you had to pay the expensive course, you had to pay the software, and then you had to pay an extra $1,500 to get the. I mean, this is how they work. This is what I despise. This is what I would never do. And so I was very, very happy to be able to go back to the original neutrinos through Windows software, which, you know, does not have all these problems and gets you all the beautiful features that you really need. So I'm very happy with that.
Thank you very much.
My pleasure. Alex, anything from you?
No questions for now.
Okay, well, great. Okay, folks, then, yeah, I'll round it up. I will put the video, I'll put it on my YouTube channel so that those who wanted to participate later can listen to it. And we will have to find out, you know, the starting date. I realized that I have been postponing it once before, so I don't want to keep you waiting forever. But I hope, you know, those who really want to participate can get together, and we can find a solution that you know, really fits all of us. So I will stay in contact, and we will work out something that makes us all happy, I hope. Okay.
Thank you very much.
My pleasure. So thank you for being here, and yeah, hope to see you soon. And yeah, I can only repeat myself. It is an incredible knowledge, and I'm always very, very happy to share it with as many people as possible. Okay, great. That's it.
Thank you. We cross our fingers that we can start soon.
Yes, yes, we'll do that. Okay. Okay.
Thank you. Thank you. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.